Om Shanti, Avyakta Bapdada Madhuban dated 22nd January 1970. Title: The Final Course, to know the feelings within the mind. Where are all of you sitting and what are you seeing? Are you seeing the Avyakta form while stabilized in the Avyakta form, or are you trying to see the corporeal form in the Avyakta form? In this world there is sound, whereas in the subtle region there is no sound. And this is why Baba is teaching all the children the drill to take them beyond sound. The practice of coming into sound in a second and going beyond sound in a second is absolutely essential at the present time. The time will come when, as you continue to stabilize yourself in the Avyakta stage, you will be able to know the feelings within someone's mind through the signals of the eyes. It will not be necessary to speak to or hear about it from anyone. Such a time is now going to come. Just as when you come in front of Bapdada, he knows the thoughts and feelings within the minds of all of you without your having to tell Baba about it. In the same way, you children have to study this final course. Just as you speak the language of the mouth, in the same way, there is the conversation of the spirit, which is called a heart-to-heart conversation. So, a spirit talks to a spirit. But how? Do spirits converse through the mouth? As you continue to stabilize yourself in the spiritual stage, the spirit will be able to know another spirit easily and clearly. Just as in this world you know the feelings of one another by speaking about them. So, which aspect of dharana is needed for this? There is a special need to keep the line of the intellect constantly clear. If there is any disturbance in your intellect or mind, or if the line is not clear, you will not be able to understand one another's thoughts and feelings. Because of the line not being clear, there is a mixture of your own thoughts. Therefore, each of you should check whether the line of your intellect is clear. Is there any type of obstacle in your intellect that is causing distress? Do you have the three aspects of being stable, immovable, and tireless in your life? If even one of these three aspects is lacking, you should understand that the line of the intellect is not clear. When the line of your intellect becomes clear, what will your stage and consciousness be? The more the line of the intellect is clear, that is, the line of effort is clear, what will remain in your consciousness? The future of any aspect would be just as clear as the present. For that person, the present and the future would be the same. Nowadays, through science, some things are shown so clearly that you can see things that are very far away as close. In the same way, those whose effort is clear will see things of the future as very close, although they are very far away. Nowadays, when people watch television, they are able to see everything very clearly. So, their intellect and vision can see and recognize all the images on the television very clearly. There are no difficulties of having to make effort in any aspect. In the same way, experience and recognize the final stage in yourself and see how close you are to the final stage. When the sun has fully risen, you are able to see everything very clearly. All the darkness and haziness finishes. In the same way, when you have an unbreakable relationship with the Almighty Authority, the Sun of Knowledge, you can see everything within yourself very clearly. Then, whilst you are walking along, if Maya's darkness or haziness that hides the truth comes to you in your efforts, that will be removed. All the children have come to this spiritual fair. Just as a physical father takes his children to a fair and buys something or other for those who are especially loved, so what unique thing would Bap-Dada give to all of you children today at this unique fair? The two gifts that Bap-Dada is giving to you as a memorial of this today's sweet meeting are: number 1, always have pure thoughts for others, and number 2, have pure thoughts for the eternal self. Have pure thoughts for the eternal self and for others. Always remember these two things. You will be able to create your own stage with pure and positive thoughts, and you will be able to do the service of many souls by having pure and positive thoughts for them. So, this is an imperishable gift from the subtle region for all the children who have come. Is Bap-Dada's love greater, or is the children's love greater? Some children must be thinking that the love of all of them is greater than Bap-Dada's love. The love of some is greater, but it is not the majority of them. There is love, but it is not unbroken or constant. The children's love changes its form a great deal. The love of Bap-Dada remains unbroken and constant. So, now tell me, whose love is greater? When Bap-Dada sees the children, because he has the third eye, he sees them in their 3 forms. What are those 3 forms? You see Baba in his 3 forms, and all of you know those forms. Baba also sees the children in their 3 forms. One is the form of an effort maker, second is the future form of the confluence age, which is the angelic form, and thirdly, the future deity form. He has a vision of all 3 forms. The 3 forms of each one are clearly visible. Just as you are able to see this body of the present time clearly, in the same way, these 3 forms are very clearly visible through the divine eye. In this way, these 3 forms can be seen clearly through divine eyes. It is easy to speak about something that you have seen with your eyes. It is somewhat difficult to speak about something that you have only heard about. But it is easy to speak about something that you have seen, and it is also clearer. So, it is just as easy to speak about these 3 forms of each one that are seen through these divine and avyakta eyes. In the same way, you will be able to see each other's three forms. At present, it is according to your efforts and your capacity, but after a little while, this term, according to capacity, will finish and each of you will claim perfection according to your number. So, Bap-Dada is seeing the perfect face of all of you. Perfection will be number-wise. Would you call both the number 1 bead of the rosary and the 108th bead of the rosary perfect or not? Would you call them victorious jewels? A victorious jewel means to attain perfection according to your own number. For that soul, that is the first stage of perfection within the whole drama. For instance, in the golden age, even the 8th emperor will be called a world emperor. But there will be a difference between the total happiness of the world of the first world emperor and the total happiness of the world of the 8th world emperor. In the same way, here too, each one of you is attaining perfection according to your own number. This is why Bap-Dada continues to see the perfect stage and the effort of the present moment. What you are at present and what you are going to become. You asked, did you not, what Baba does while he is sitting in the subtle region. This is what he continues to observe whilst also doing the service of giving subtle cooperation. Each one thinks, I don't know what Baba does up there all the time sitting in the subtle region. The speed of service there is a lot faster than that of the corporeal world, because here there is also the account of the corporeal body. Baba is now free from even that bondage. He does not exist just for himself, but for all souls. Just as each of you has the experience of leaving a body and taking a body, so do you also have the experience of becoming bodiless, having renounced the consciousness of the body when you want, and taking the support of the body when you want to perform actions? You now have to increase this experience. You will have the experience of that physical costume being totally separate from the soul that adopts the costume. You must now have this experience a lot more. Constantly remember that you have now almost returned home. You have taken the support of the body just for the sake of service. But as soon as service finishes, you can instantly make yourself light. When you return home from somewhere, having been on duty, you consider yourself to be very light. You remove your uniform and put on your indoor clothes. In the same way, you have taken the support of the costume, that is, the body, to do service. So then, as soon as service finishes, you must try to become light from the burden of those clothes. Who will be able to become detached from the costume in a second? If there is any tightness, you will not be able to become detached. When something is stuck tight, it is difficult to remove it. When it is loose, it is easily removed. In the same way, if there isn't any easiness in your sanskars, you will not be able to experience the stage of being bodiless. You were told what you have to become: easy and alert. You should not remain so easy that Maya is easily able to come. At some times you have to remain easy, and at other times you have to remain alert. So you have to remain easy and alert. Only those who are like this will be able to maintain this practice. Bap-Dada is not seeing the children as new children, because since he knows all three aspects of time, how could he say that you are new? Therefore, all of you are very old ones. You cannot calculate how old you are. So, do not consider yourselves to be new. You are very old ones, and you old ones have come to claim your right once again. Always keep this intoxication constantly inside you. Never say, "We will make effort, we will see." No, those who have come last have to believe that they will go fast. If you keep the aim of going fast, your efforts will be according to that. Therefore, never think that you people came at the end and so you will become the subjects. No, even those who come at the end have a right to claim a royal status. Acha. The Avyakta meeting is also a meeting. Therefore, all of you have to have this faith. We will definitely claim a royal status. Who will become that if we don't? Who are the souls that are remembered as a handful out of multi-millions? You are the souls within the drama who are a handful out of multi-millions. Never forget this faith that you have. Bap-Dada is pleased to see the future of all souls. To meet each one individually, this is what is in your mind, is it not? However, in this corporeal world, like all of you, Bap-Dada doesn't have this corporeal world anymore. He also has to consider the time according to your world. In the subtle region, there is no time. There is no clock. However, in this corporeal world, all of these things have to be considered. There, since there is no sun or moon, how could there be the calculation of day and night? This is why there is no bondage of time. Acha. Blessings. May you be full of speciality and show the sparkle of your elevated life through your royalty of purity. The speciality of Brahmin life is the royalty of purity. Just as you can see from the faces and the behavior of those of a royal family that they belong to a royal family, so too Brahmin life is recognized by their sparkle of purity. The sparkle of purity will be visible through your behavior and face when there is no name or trace of impurity even in your thoughts. Purity is not just the vow of celibacy, but there shouldn't be the influence of any vice or anything impure. Then you can be called a Brahmin soul who is full of speciality. Slogan: those who have self-realization are always happy and claim a right to all attainments. Om Shanti.